Okay, let's put together some of this array learning that we've done into a final project that will resemble a real life scenario. So this program is going to be the classic card game Go Fish. So we're going to make a few adaptations to the rules so that we can use arrays in a lot of different ways to solve this program. So we're going to create the pseudocode in this video that we will fill in a future video, and then we'll start making our program. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to create the 52 card deck. So in this one, we are going to not care about what the suits are because that's typical in Go Fish. So we're going to be creating the 52 card deck. And then we will deal 7 cards to each player. So each player's hand is going to be an array starting with 7 cards. And now, using some terminology from the rules of Go Fish, we are going to check books. So a book is a 4 of a kind, which is going to be equal to 1 point. So the objective is to try to collect, say, all 4 threes or all 4 11s by requesting cards from your opponent's hand. And if they have that card, they have to give it to you. So whenever we get a book, we're going to have to remove from the player's hand. So when they get all 11s, we're going to remove all 4 of those 11s and then award them a point. Although we're not going to keep track of which books each player has. That might be an advanced step to the game. So then what we're going to do is we will display scores, because potentially somebody could have some points based on this. And then we'll have to pick starting player. So it'll be the user playing against the computer, and we'll randomly select who is the beginning player. So now, while the deck has cards, we are going to do the following. So this is where our loop comes in. Now we'll have an if statement here that'll determine if it's the player turn or the computer turn. So the player turn is going to look like this. First thing we have to do is we have to draw a card if the user's hand is empty. Potentially the computer could have requested all the right cards and you start your turn with absolutely nothing. So you're going to draw a card if you don't have any cards in your hand. Then what we're going to do is we're going to display, turn this into a comment, display the user's hand. Then we're going to prompt for a request. So the user has to pick a card in hand and then use that as the number of their request. You can't request a card that isn't in your hand. So if you have 1, 2, or 3 threes, you can say, I pick threes, and then the opponent has to give you their cards if they have a 3. So one of 2 possibilities: either there's a success. So in the situation of a success, the user is going to have to collect that card. So like if we say a 3 and the computer has a 3, we'll collect that card. We'll have to check for books. And then whenever a player is successful, they get to guess again. I'll put that in parentheses because we're actually not going to have any code associated with this. We'll just allow it to naturally loop itself again. Also, potentially, there could be a fail where the card isn't there, so we're going to go fish, which means draw a card from the deck. Then we're going to have to check books again, and then we'll have to end the turn. So whenever you fail, it becomes the other player's turn. Now the computer turn is going to look an awful lot like this. So the computer turn, some small differences here. The first thing is they will have to draw if their hand is empty, but we don't need to display the hand. because obviously then we would know which cards they have. And instead of prompting for a request, we are going to randomly generate the request. So from all the cards that they have, we will randomly pick one, and that is going to be their request. Now, the success and failure are going to be the exact same. And then the only thing that we have to do is when the deck runs out of cards, then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the end and we will display the final score. So we're not going to scores. We're not going to say which player won and which player lost. We're going to say how many books each player has, because really it's the player that has the most fun, which is the greatest winner. And it's hard algorithmically to determine if the computer player enjoyed playing the game more than the user player. So we're just going to display the final scores, and then that will be it. So in the next video, we're going to fill in the initialization part of this program.